master teacher down at the Healing Place and the Healing Place Energy School. Tonight, my co-host, Robin Bornstein, is feeling a little bit under the weather, and she says, Helen, can you fly on your own? I went, man, flying on my own. I feel like I've been flying for such a long time, and I want to be able to share this platform with you. Please let me know that you have joined me. Tonight, we're going to have a really lively conversation. It's all about energy vampires. Because as I was writing my book, Reiki 1, yes, I want to teach this class online, live stream sometime at the end of March or April. Most likely it's going to be at the beginning of April because I didn't realize once I started to write, I was really writing. And you might have heard me talk about this last week with Robin. So I have a difficult time dumbing down the course. So one of the things that as I was writing, just recently, I was thinking about how codependency. So what are energy vampires? These are the people, they could be anyone or anything. It even could be your pets, especially if you have a dog that is really needy. It could be parents, siblings, workers, spouses, and it also could be yourself. And this is where you become really highly critical of you. And so what are energy vampires? The first thing they are, more times than not, they're very needy people. And for those people who perhaps been learning about narcissistic people really fall in the category of energy vampire because they're looking for, these people have what I call enforcer energy. It's all about being right. It's all about you got to be on board with me. So whatever you have in your opinion is dismissed, or they dummy down you. They hear you, but they dismiss you because they don't, basically what they don't do is validate you as a person. And these types of people are energy drainers. They really, in some ways, suck the life out of you, especially if you have family members or spouse, friends who constantly are calling upon you to help them. And I'm going to share a quick story about me. I did not realize I was an energy vampire when I first started my business. And how did I discover this? In fact, my buddy Nancy called me on my stuff one day, and she says, Helen, you realize that you only call me when you need something. So, and everybody who's listening, feel free to jump on if you have questions and with your comments. And my buddy Nancy said, well, Helen, you only call me when you need something. And I'm thinking, maybe I'm just so used to just calling people. It's really sometimes difficult for me to have what I call a casual conversation because the way I was brought up, you only call if you need something, not, hey, how are you? Tell me what's going on in your life. I really want to know about you. Instead, it becomes a very codependency relationship where you say, you need to do something for me to make me feel better. And usually these are the people who it's a one-sided conversation and you feel like you could actually feel your energy being drained. So what do you do in these situations when you feel like your friends, family, so forth, suck the life out of you? The thing is, you have a choice. You know when you feel terrible. You know when you're feeling used because your energy field, this is something that I talk about in my book, Know Your Chakras, right there. You know, I will bring it up, but I'm not, I figure, you know what? It's good where it is. Know your chakras. It's all about understanding and learning your energy flow. You know when you feel good about something and when you don't. And the thing is, do you have the courage when you don't feel good to do something about it? Because most of us get into a rut where we are in the same kind of relationship. And if you notice your relationship, if it has not, I say, grown, especially especially this is a case in a family where a mother, father, and children. And sometimes parents don't let their children grow up. And this is when the energy vampire codependency starts to really play in. And the parents usually don't want children to leave, not just only physically, but energetically and live independently. This is a really tough one, tough call about this type of energy vampiring, where you're thinking about how can you grow energetically and become independent. So one of the things energy vampires do more times than not, besides taking advantage of you, they don't take accountability because it's always somebody else's fault. If you notice that the narcissistic person in your life, they'll tell you why you have not made them happy, and they expect you to jump through hoops. More times than not, there's always drama. And drama is what I call a smoke screen to get you to buy into their being and what their needs are without looking at you. Okay. And because they'll always want to be one up, they're always trying to tell you why they are better than you in some respect. And they'll use any weapon to get back at you. So maybe 10 years ago, you might have did something, made a mistake. And they're more than happy to let you know what mistakes that you have made. And so they spend all of their time diminishing you while they're playing up their own problems. But one thing I notice about energy vampires, they can't live independently. They need food, energy food. So if you notice anytime you hang out with somebody, and it could be the love of your life, but at the end of the evening, you might feel extremely tired and depleted. So what happened without you knowing it, or maybe you do know it, they have siphoned all the energy out of you, and you wonder why you are so tired, and they feel so incredibly good. I was talking about how do you become an energy vampire to yourself? This is one of those things that no one thinks about, because as your energy depletes, something always triggered that depletion. Usually it's fears and doubts and why you feel you're not good enough. And this is something I talk about in the first step of your spiritual journey, that course that I developed this past spring. As you learn more about who you are, accept who you are, the more you can grow from that, from you. And feel free to jump on if you have questions and comments, because I would love to make this interactive, because I've gotten to the point in my life, I passed what I call the old lady line. I could talk for a really long time. And where have I gathered my information? In the 15 years that I've been a professional healer at the Healing Place, I have learned the people who are depleted of energy, more times than not, they have an energy profile as a people pleaser. And they really want to help everyone in their family to feel good. In fact, especially, I'm going to say women and sometimes men who have built their whole lives around their children. They are used to giving. So more times than not, the person that's being sucked the life out of, they don't know how to ask for help. They don't know how to say no. They don't know how to say, maybe later. And this is something that needs to be practiced, because once somebody has sucked the life out of you, as you notice, it takes a really long time to replenish your energy. And why? Because in order to have what I call an energetic foundation, a core, that core has to be thick. It has to be thick. I would say the length of all of your chakras, all 7 of them. So, your first up to your 7 needs to be strengthened and strong. So in case where energy vampires usually go after a people pleaser, it's in the heart And also in the third chakra. The third chakra is all about self-esteem. And and more times than not, people pleasers feel good when they are given. And that's what their addiction is to feed their addiction by becoming a hero, the lifesaver. But it's always at the expense of you. And you wonder why you're so freaking depleted. And that's because you have given everything away. So I've lately have created quite a few courses because I really want everybody to start to awaken to their spirit. Because if you don't know who you are, it's really difficult to know the direction you want to go to. So let's say you feel like you have a life purpose to do within this lifetime, but you're kind of fluttering because you're trying to make a whole bunch of people happy. You're trying to please whoever you want to please at the expense of you. So learning to come back to who you are is going to be key. By knowing who you are, this is where you set boundaries. And the thicker your boundary is, the more likelihood you're going to say, sorry, not now. And, think about families. I'm going to say this. Families are the worst. More times than not, everybody, I describe it as the birds. You have all those little baby chicks in a nest. I don't know which bird species this is, but whoever was born first get to push all the other hatchlings out after they're born. So they could be the only chick left. So in energy medicine, especially in the family nucleus, more times than not, you have the oldest. Like in my case, I am the oldest. So a lot of time, in my case, I try to be helpful, maybe a little too helpful, because again, I have that, I just want to be able to help my brothers and sisters to have the best life that they can. And sometimes it's really frustrating when you have had this role all of your life. And then what happens to the younger ones, they never grow. They never energetically grow. And the reason why is we don't give them a chance to grow into their beings, because we have taken their powers away by saying, you know what, I know better than you. Let me share my experience with you, so this way it could avoid the pitfalls. So that's something that's really important about healing work, is learning when you become an energy vampire and when somebody is doing it to you, all right? Because it has to go both ways. So coming back to my buddy Nancy, I apologized to her profusely. And when she pointed out as if I'm imposing on her, then I realized, you know what? I am doing that. So I don't go into my defense and try to say, no, you got it all wrong. I've never done that. Instead, I looked at the lesson and what can I learn from this? All right, this is key, because every experience you have in life is a moment to be able to learn and grow. And that's just what I've done in the 15 years that I've been a professional healer. And Bo T said he recently came across a lesson like this too. So in other words, be humble. Be humble, because nobody is perfect, whatever that means. I don't even know if God is perfect. Have you ever thought about that? He or she is just going along doing the best he or she can do too. Let me have a sip. So when you encounter an energy vampire, first of all, your aura. This is something I talk about in lesson 6 in Know Your Chakras. You know what? I'm going to bring my book up. I don't do this very often because I'm with Robin. See, I even write notes because when I come back and I'm like, oh, I need to improve this. So lesson 6 is all about uh, listening to the messages that's coming in through your energy field. Everyone is capable of doing this feeling. And more times than not, you're feeling it, but you just don't know what it is. As you're getting information, you're thinking, I'm going to say what my mother used to say when she was alive. Whenever she gets feelings, she'd be too embarrassed to act upon it because she always thinks the other person knew more than she did. Even though it made her feel really uncomfortable, she couldn't come out and say something like, you know what? I don't think this is right for me, because she was always afraid that somebody was going to criticize her. So coming back, building your foundation. What does that mean? Building your foundation is really understanding who you are, and without apologies, without excuses, and be proud. Be proud of who you are. Don't make excuses. And if you don't fit in, like in my case, many situations, I don't always fit in because I'm overly sensitive to all the energy in the room. So I have a tendency to cut through, excuse the language, I cut through the bullshit because I'm not willing to play the game. I just don't, because I know deep down I am always going to be okay. That's a confidence that you can only learn if you practice who you are and do not apologize and do not make excuses. So take that energy, my energy, and I like to blow it up and infuse it into the room when it is invited. I don't do what I call peeping Tom energy. So what does that mean? I don't go anywhere that I have not been invited. I do not invade anybody's space. I do not ever come out and say, this is what you must do. Instead, I like to give people choices, because everyone is so afraid to go outside of their comfort zone. But only growth can happen outside of your comfort zone. Because once you're comfortable, you're lazy. You're lazy. You can't get off the sofa because you're busy clicking and watching TV and doing whatever you're doing. Growth takes courage and it takes work. So this is something I instill in my clients who come to see me at the Healing Place in Medfield. Because in order to live your life purpose, you got to own it and you have to want it. So I guess you need to want it first and then own it and then grow it. So how does that sound? I hope very much that's been inspirational. So we have a few minutes left. I would like to help you. Usually Robin does the meditation. I want you, this little meditation is going to help you to feel your energy and feel your inner strength. I want you to broadcast that energy like a flashlight, a headlight, or even, something that you see up in the sky one night and you go, wow, look at that skylight. Oh, that's what in skylight, is that what you call it? And I really want you broadcast loud and proud. Ooh, that's a good one. Loud and proud, because there is absolutely no one like you. All right. And the more you understand who you are, you won't make excuses anymore, because there's no room for excuses. And you will broadcast your energy loud, because especially now, we need you as help this planet to heal, help people to heal. We need you. And that's the reason why I have developed these courses at the Healing Place Energy School. So because you have that inkling, something is calling you, what do you do with it? Well, you kick yourself in the butt and say, let's get going. All right. So here we go. let's do a quick gathering of your energy. And I'm going to teach you to broadcast it. Do not be embarrassed. I want you to do this several times a day. Really focus and breathing out to the point you could feel your energy move to the edge of the room and beyond. All right. It's fun. All right. Feet on the ground. Your hands, it could be in your lap, hands up. Don't clench your fists, because once you clench, the energy stops flowing. You need to flow. You're going to breathe in through your nose and you're going to exhale out of your mouth. You're going to do that right now. And then all you have to do is listen and just follow along. Number one, set the intention. What do you want to get out of this next 5 minutes? If you want to get to know more of you, don't be embarrassed. Invite her or him into your life, because you got a lot of energy in you and characters. Pull out the ones that feels good to you right now. Invite the person in. So we're going to breathe in and out. Again, breathe in and out. Really force it out. One more time. And out. I want you to focus the energy from your feet all the way up to your hips. I want you to breathe in and push that energy out. Anything that does not serve you, push it out. Again. I want you to really feel the energy in your legs and push it out. If you have leg problems, feet problems, push it out. Broadcast. You might be starting to get really warm now. Push out. And if you don't feel anything, that's okay too. I want you to focus the energy from your hips all the way underneath your breastbone. We're going to work on your stomach, and we're going to broadcast that energy in your self-esteem, and you're going to be a kick butt goddess or god. All right, here we go. 3 breaths. Any negativity, push out. And as you inhale, breathe in positive energy. Here we go. Breathe in and push out whatever that needs to go. Again. Really push. One last time. Can you feel it? Can you feel it moving? All that crap that you've been telling yourself? One last time. Here we go. Breathe in and out. Let's focus on the heart chakra. This heart chakra is not only love you have for others, it's also about the love you have for yourself. Really important, because if you don't have that foundation, you cannot rescue anybody or help anyone. This time, as we're breathing in, we're going to, just like E.T., the heart glow, we're going to really broadcast that light in the heart and just glow it through the whole chest. Here we go. 3 breaths. Breathe in and out. Again. One last time. Notice how your energy is shifting. Now, next one is a biggie. We're going to do the throat chakra. Think about how many times we've been told not to use our voice because it's not safe. You don't want to be out of place. You don't want to stand out. All right. So what happens a lot of times when you can't stand out, you're in the corner. All right. Which is really tough. So let's open up the throat chakra. 3 breaths. As you inhale, positive energy. As you exhale, push out. Push out as hard, as far as you can, using your breath. Breathe in and all the way out. Again, breathe in, all the way out. Push out I call it the FUs, and everybody knows what FU means. Breathe in and push it all the way out. Get rid of those FUs. Next one, we're going to do the third eye. You're going to trust your intuition, and you're going to connect to your crown chakra, to the universe. This is not only to the heavens, but it's also to you, to your higher self, because everyone has a higher self. It's just a matter of activating him or her and listening and following through. Ooh, that's a tough one to follow through. Let's really pull the energy to Father Heaven, pull it all the way down into the third eye. So we're going to breathe in, pull it in, and push out any negativity. Again. And one last time. On this one, we're going to take Father Heaven's energy and we're going to pull it into the crown chakra, and we're going to wrap 360 all the way around our body. So we're protecting our aura. So keep those energy vampires from coming in and grabbing your throat and say, you're not good enough. You belong to me. You can't exist without me. This is where you use the FUs to say, you know what? Life will go on. It's hard, but life will go on. Okay, 3 breaths, and you're going to nice and tight, doing the mummy thing. This is what I call it, the energy condom. If you don't want to wrap, you could pull all the way down. I don't care how you do it, but let's take 3 breaths, and as you're doing that, you're wrapping or pulling down. Again, breathe in. Again. And one last time. Just be here in this space for the next couple of seconds. Let the energy come and rebalance within you, especially if you let a lot go. And after you're done, if you notice you feel weepy, that's natural because you've let a lot of emotion, dead energy will come to the surface. And how often do you do meditation? Something like this, you could come back and listen. You could do this daily. And by doing this, you're going to notice, like you might be feeling really tingly right now, because I feel really tingly. And I still get hot when I do these type of meditation, because it's like doing an energy enema, and you're getting rid of all the stuff that's been your baggage. And who's put that baggage there? You. Because no one has ever taught you how to get rid of the baggage. So this is something I'm really passionate about teaching in my chakra class, your first step to your spiritual journey. And I'm right now in the process of developing a Reiki 1 class that I would like to do live stream. Let's target for April. And so let me know how you feel. Oh yeah, Janet says she's the oldest and she goes blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's what happens a lot of time. All energy does is just repeats. It spirals and it repeats because you have not broken the cycle. Your energy is waiting for you to say, hey, what are you going to do about this situation? You're the only one who have the power to do something, and it can start as quickly as now. Make a choice. Choose to be in your power. Choose to be you. Choose to live in your greatness. Okay. I hope this was really good for you. Please share this talk with some people. Subscribe. What else? What else? Like, follow, and all of those things I'm supposed to say. And I'll see you next Tuesday. And I hope Robin will be back next Tuesday at 7 p.m. And I have to think of another subject because there's so many things that I'm writing about in my Reiki 1 book that I could just pertain. And for those people who are awakening, this is information and guidance that you will use for the rest of your life. I bid you peace and wellness and your power. Bye-bye, and I will see you next week.